At Mississippi Senator Roger Wicker is on the Senate Budget Committee in New York City now. How are you, Senator?
I'm doing great. Good
morning.
To be here.
It's like Mississippi weather in New York for you,
That's
isn't it?
right. You know, we've had snow this year.
You have that? Yes. Yes, indeed you have. She right?
Well, this is the lowest labor participation rate since the Jimmy Carter years, when, of course, the American people soundly rejected him and put Ronald Reagan in to turn things around. No, we want people to stay in the workforce. And the fact that they predicted some 1/3 of that number, now it's 2.5 million people will voluntarily choose not to participate in the workforce. That's a bad statistic.
So square that logic with what we just heard now. Reading from Politico, CBO report said the health care law will cause Americans to cut their work hours, equating to 2 million fewer jobs in 2017. It continues, that number predicted eventually to rise the equivalent of 2.5 million, as you just stated in 2020.
What's that going to do to American productivity? It's going to go down. We want more people in the workforce. And of course, the only reason that the unemployment rate is as favorable as it sounds, around 8 or a little less, is because fewer and fewer people are even trying for a job. What this report says is that another 2.2 million people will quit trying for a job.
Is this law costing jobs in America?
Yes, it is. It is. And the CBO report says that.
Nancy Pelosi, February 6th. Roll this and react.
We want people to have the freedom to be a writer, to be a photographer, to make music, to paint. People would no longer be job locked by their policy, but have the freedom to follow their passion.
So what she's arguing is that this law actually creates more freedom for Americans. What do you think of that?
I'm for more freedom for Americans. There's a much better way to prevent job lock, and that is you get to keep your job and have the insurance there, or we change the tax code as Coburn and Burr and Hatch have proposed, and you could buy your own insurance, get a tax break for that, and if you want to be a writer or start your own small business, you could do that. So I'm for this freedom that Speaker Pelosi is talking about, but I would do it through the tax code and give individuals that want to start their business the ability to buy their own insurance.
Do you think the individual mandate will be delayed, as we saw with the employer mandate just recently? Is that next?
I wish it would be. That would be a godsend if the president would delay the individual mandate. But he seems to be determined to go forward with that. What he's done now twice in a row is say that businesses can have a year and now another year, and he's just not going to enforce the law when it comes to employers. But the little guy out there is going to be required to follow the law. So the president seems to have this imperial presidency idea that he can pick which laws he likes and which laws he doesn't, and enforce the ones that suit him at the time. He signed Obamacare, and now he's saying, well, this portion deserves yet another year of exemption for the business folks, but not for the little guy.
One more point on this. Crowdhammer writes in the Washington Post, quoting now on screen for viewers, conservatives have been warning about this for 5 years. This is not rocket science. Both the voluntary and forced job losses were utterly predictable. Pelosi insisted we would have to pass the law to know what's in it. Now we know, end quote.
Right. Well, what Pelosi and the president says this would be less than 1 million people would choose to voluntarily leave because of this entitlement law. Turns out now that figure is 3 times as large. But also, look, this is not working from a technical standpoint with a website, with the sign-ups. It's also not working from a human standpoint. People who have chronic diseases, who've depended on a doctor for years and years, are now being told, you're not going to keep your own doctor. You got to find somebody else. This is devastating news to somebody who has multiple sclerosis, for example, and they're told that the doctor that has taken care of them for years and years is not available to them because of this new law, which was supposed to help people at the human level. So it's a disaster from the point of human suffering.
Senator, I appreciate your time, and we will see what comes on this next.
Glad to be with you.
Appears to be anybody's guess. Roger Wicker, thank you from Mississippi. Thank you.